It's the GT4 European Series. It's the final weekend of the season here at Misano. It's been a fantastic year in the championship, and now we've come to the final weekend. It's going to be a very entertaining 50-minute race, two 50-minute races. Race 1 today, race 2 tomorrow. It's very unlikely that the championship will be wrapped up. At the top of the championship, we've got Jelle Bijlen and Marcel Nuren. They are leading the championship, but Duncan Houseman is reasonably close behind them. He's 22 points back, and you get 25 points for a victory, but there's drop scores to take into consideration as well. So it's going to be a very interesting race as far as that is concerned. And as far as the grid is concerned, it's Houseman who is in front on the grid. So he'll be starting in 3rd position on the grid for the V8 Racing team. On pole position, it's the British pairing of Marcus Clutton and Jordan Witt, who are out there in the Chevron GT4. The most recent offering from Chevron in terms of race cars. Maybe 4 or 5 years old now, that Chevron. And that is the car that's going to be starting on pole position. But alongside on the front row is that 46 Maserati of Zamparini and Baxter, and it is going to be Patrick Zamparini, the Italian, who's going to be starting the car, the Maserati Gran Turismo, which is an official Maserati entry. And there is the Chevron on pole position. Used to seeing that car in yellow, but it's decked out in white for this GT4 European Series. And as I said, it'll be Marcus Clutton and Jordan Witt who have campaigned that car for many years. Marcus Clutton, a former Lotus Elise racer in the UK. Jordan Witt has been driving the Chevron on many occasions. Drove it a lot with Anthony Reid, the former British touring car racer, a couple of years ago. But Anthony Reid not taking part in this race. And then behind them on the grid in 3rd position, there is the man who is fighting for the lead of the championship in the 96 car. It's Luke Brahms and Duncan Houseman. Luke Brahms had to miss Spa, so that's why he's not in championship contention. Then we've got one of our lone drivers, Pavel Lefterov, who is a Bulgarian racer, and he's in the AM class. The first of the AM drivers he's the second of the AM drivers on the grid. And there is the other championship fighting car, and that's the car that's leading the standings at the moment. And it will be interesting to see how Jelle Bijlen can do. Then we've got the 71 car next up, Hendrik Still. The Sofia car motorsport team. It's a Bulgarian car, but with 2 German drivers, Hendrik Still and Andreas Gulden. We've also keep an eye out for the number 1 car, the Ecris Motorsport entry, the new BMW M4 that's having its first ever race this evening. So that's certainly going to be one to keep an eye on. And that is going to be starting in 8th place on the grid with Ricardo van der Ende starting that car. And then down there at the back is the other Sofia car motorsport entry, the number 11 car of Olivier Mutjens and Peter Terting, the Belgian and the German racing together, and they didn't set a lap time in qualifying, so as a result they're going to be starting in 13th place down at the back of the grid, and it's going to be Peter Terting who will be starting that car. The AM Championship is already wrapped up, so there's nothing to worry about there. The man who won the AM Championship is opting not to enter this weekend because he's already wrapped it up, so no need for him to come here. So away they go on their formation lap. It's going to be an entertaining race, no doubt about that, as they make their way down towards the first corner. And it's the 20th and 30th minutes of the race, the mandatory pit stop time. So yeah, between 20 and 30 minutes into the 50-minute race is when you must take your mandatory pit stop. There's a minimum pit stop time as well. So you're allowed to change tyres in the pit stops, but most of these cars run with 5-nut wheels. So as a result, it's not like the Blancpain cars or other cars where you can just do one wheel nut off and on. It takes quite a while to change the tyres, so we're not expecting to see anyone change tyres unless they absolutely have to. So it's going to be Marcus Clutton then starting on pole position, Zamparini alongside him, Huisman and is on the second row of the grid. I'm just trying to see where the 71 Sophia car is, because that should have been lining up in third position, but it's been knocked back a couple of places, so I think there must have been a change there after the qualifying session. But there you can see the starting order. Clutton and Witt on pole, Zamperini and Baxter next up, then Huisman and Brahms, the first of the championship contenders. Then Lefteroff will start in the fourth place. He's alone in that car, so when the pit stop window comes, he still has to come in, but he just sits in the car. Then it's the other championship protagonists, the men leading it at the moment, Jelle Bienen and Marcel Nuren. And then Terting and Mutiens lining up at the back of the field as the cars make their way around now towards the final corner, and for this 50-minute race to get underway. It's been a superb season, as I say, in the GT4 European Series. Season started at Nogaro, where it was victories. Well, the victories were shared between Luke Brahms and Duncan Huisman in race 1, and Jelle Bielen and Marcel Nuren in race 2, and that kind of was how the season continued to progress. Since then, visits to Zandvoort, the Red Bull Ring, Spa and the Nürburgring bring us then back here to Misano. And there is the pole sitting car of Marcus Clutton in the little Chevron. Alongside him, the much meatier Maserati Gran Turismo M of Zamperini. Keep an eye out on Patrick Zamperini at the start here in the car he shares with Canadian Barry Baxter. So the team's watching on. A thumbs up. And the lights out as we get ready for the action to begin here in Misano. It's the penultimate race of the GT4 European Series. Pole position, Marcus Clutton. He'll be on the inside line in the Chevron, but alongside him will be Patrick Zamperini. Second row of the grid is Huisman and Lefteroff as the race gets underway now. The cars all dart out on the run down towards the first corner. Looks as though Clutton could be under a bit of pressure as they come in towards turn 1, trying to squeeze through the middle there. That's a bold move from Huisman, and I think he's done it and into the lead, but he skips across the chicane. So that could be under investigation. Clutton's been forced off, and as a result, loses positions and is all the way back down to fourth place now, the pole man. But what a bold move that was from Huisman, running down towards the first corner to try and split the two leaders. They both went off the track, so we'll see if anyone, the stewards decide that should be investigated. Lefteroff has come with Huisman then and is up into second position as they make their way down towards the hairpin on this first lap. Onto the brakes, and Lefteroff, oh, very, very deep in there. Goes one of the cars, but I think it's still Huisman. No, he's lost the lead. So through has gone the Evora. So the Evora of Pavel Lefteroff did manage to get through, but then Huisman comes back at him on the run up towards turn 10. So these two swapping places fantastically. Huisman leading, Lefteroff in second place in the Evora. Then in third place, I think, is the now recovering Maserati of Patrick Zamperini as they flash through turn 11. Yep, so there's Zamperini in third spot as they get onto the brakes. And another dart to the inside. That's going to be very, very close from Lefteroff. He's feeling racy in these early stages. Huisman drops a couple of wheels out wide. Car 96. Huisman is under investigation for track limits at turn 2. Big slide from him, and that allows Lefteroff up the inside and through into the lead of the race then. So at the end of lap 1, big slide from the Evora. This is fantastic stuff. As they complete the first lap, it is Lefteroff just about, who is, well, technically it's Huisman leading as they cross the line into turn 1. Lefteroff trying to hold on around the outside and manages to do so. That'll give them the inside for turn 2. And they manage, oh, that's a little shortcut. That's certainly not the track limits as they were imagined to be, as they come down into the right-hander, so that has not worked out well. And he's dropped to third position, so as a result, he'll probably get away with it because he didn't clearly gain an advantage in all of that. There's Marcus Clutton in the Chevron, who's still trying to fight his way up the order. It's 3 wide as they head down the back straight. The two V8 Racing Chevys going side by side. The two championship protagonists are fighting it out going down into the hairpin. And is there a problem for Huisman? I think it's a front right for Duncan Huisman, a front right puncture for the man who's second in the championship. And that is not good news for Huisman at all. And I wonder whether maybe that's the reason he went wide in those early stages. Maybe a bit of contact between he and Lefterov as Lefterov was trying to pass. Oh, what a frantic opening 3 minutes there. It's Lefterov who is continuing to lead the way then. But right up behind him is Zamparini, as the gravel flies from underneath the cars as they swing through the left-hander of 13 down into the hairpin of 14. But here comes Lefterov leading the way. Lotus leading Maserati at the end of lap 2. And out across the line. And that means Zampieri then up into second position and trying to put pressure now on the man in front. And this is the new M4 that's under pressure now from the 69 car of Jeli Bielen. It is Zamparini in that second place car. The graphics show Zampieri, but it's definitely Patrick Zamparini. With 46 minutes to go, and it's still the Lotus that's leading the way. Quickest first sector of anyone on this lap so far is Marcus Clutton in the Chevron, so watch out for him trying to fight his way back up the field. As they get onto the brakes into the hairpin. Oh, and a hit! And there's a big spin in the middle coming out of the hairpin. I think everyone has avoided contact, but what happened there was the BMW was tapped into a spin by Jeli Bielen. Bielen tried to get past Ricardo van der Ende for third place and ended up spinning the BMW. Saw it out of the commentary box window, that one. With 45 minutes left on the clock, you can see that the BMW is going to have a lot of work to do now, Ricardo van der Ende, as he tries to climb back up the order, but it's still nose to tail for the lead. Lefterov against Zamparini. And those two, thanks to the fights behind, have managed to pull reasonably clear. Now, how quickly can Zamparini try and get past Lefterov in front of him? That's going to be the next question. Lefterov covering the inside line. Marcus Clutton now has got up into 6th position then, after dropping well back at the start. Jeli Bielen is 3rd. In 4th place at the moment is Peter Terting in that Sofia Motorsport car. That's the car that started in 13th on the grid, actually, so Terting's done a fantastic job there to climb up the order. So got side by side there, and I think that is, just as I say that, is that Terting losing out? Yes, it is. So that's well, it's Terting actually trying to fight with Jeli Bielen and get past Bielen. So that's what's going on there, and Clutton is in there as well as they look to the inside, and oh, very deep. Where's he going? Very, very wide, off towards Bologna, and that means Jeli Bielen drops down from 3rd to 5th. And Clutton makes up another place, and Clutton makes up another place now. No, not quite close enough to make the move stick. He's absolutely flying, Marcus Clutton. It's still Lefterov and Zamparini who are out in front as they hurtle down towards turn 11. Oh, both of them out of shape there. This is the battle still between Clutton and Terting. Peter Terting in that Sin R1 GT4. Clutton in the Chevron. Gets the outside line, and as a result may be able to carry more momentum through the corner and have an attack towards the final turn, but I don't think that's quite going to work out. As they come out, this is the battle for 3rd place then across the line, and it's Terting who's managed to go from the back of the grid up to 3rd position in the race now after 4 laps. Clutton 4th, Jeli Bielen 5th, and in 6th position is Simon Knapp in the BMW M3 for Ecris Motorsport. While the other, Ricardo van der Ende M4 Ecris car, is down in 9th position. Still, Marcus Clutton is looking for a way through, side by side for the lead on the run down to the hairpin. But nothing doing just yet. The Evora still holding on, goes very, very wide. Well, he goes wide in the middle of the corner. Zamparini goes wide on the exit of the corner. And now Duncan Huisman's got up and running again. He's just set the fastest middle sector of anyone, and there was some robust attacking, and that was Ricardo van der Ende. I think losing out to the other Sofia car of Hendrik Still. But here's our race leader. Pavel left it off for the ASC Bulvato racing team. Bulavto racing team, my apologies. Marcus Clutton set the fastest middle sector of anyone on this lap, and he's rapidly closed in to the back of Terting. So keep an eye out on those two as well as they come across the line. In fact, Clutton's up into third place, isn't he? So he's closing in on the race leaders, I should say. Only 2 seconds further back. .41 minutes to go, and look how defensive they're being in the race lead here. Pavel left it off. It was a night race here in Misano last season as well for the GT4 European Series. And side by side, look at Marcus Clutton, he's there. He took pole by half a second, Clutton, and now he has joined the battle for the lead. After being shuffled down at the start of the race, he's now well and truly back in the fight. So these are our top three. Pavel left it off in the Evora. Patrick Zamparini in the Maserati, the sliding Maserati that's now down into third place, because easily through goes Marcus Clutton. That door was just opened for Clutton. And now Clutton's next task is to try and close down left it off. Through the final sequence of corners now, and we'll keep an eye out whether Clutton is able to get past left it off. He's certainly seeming like he's on a mission. Too far back going into the final corner to have a go. They run down towards turn one, a look to the inside line from Clutton, later on the brakes. All the Evora turns in, they go side by side. Good clean racing, but again the Chevron tries to get the cutback, not quite able to do so. And there's the look. Through goes Clutton into the lead of the race, but again the Evora tries the cutback, but Lefterov can't quite do it. And now Clutton's away in the lead, and now the pressure's on from behind from Zamparini and from Terting. The Sofia car has joined the party as well, and has got through then past Zamparini. So Zamparini drops down to fourth. All that has allowed Jelle Bielen back into the fight as well. It's non-stop, this. As they loop out now onto the back straight. Lights flashing as they come into turns 12 and 13. 38 minutes left on the clock. Now Clutton's got the lead. He's starting to pull away just slightly. But that battle for second place is going to rage and rage. Through comes the Chevron. Then it's the Lotus. Then behind is Terting. Don't forget, this guy started at the back of the grid. Then it's the Maserati. And he's under a lot of pressure from Jelle Bielen now in the Chevy. Left it off, goes defensive into turn one. How close Terting is, desperate to try and find a way through, because he can see that Clutton's disappearing on off the road, and he probably fancies his chances of closing in on the race leader if he was able to get past. But now it's Zamparini who's got the best run out, coming towards the hairpin at turn 8. He'll be on the outside line though, as they go wheel to wheel down towards the left-hander. Won't be able to go all the way around the outside at 8, and that could leave him susceptible to Jelle Bielen in the 69 V8 Racing Chevrolet, but doesn't quite. And all this, you've still got Simon Knapp at the back of that pack, and then Hendrik Still as well, who's involved in the fight. So action everywhere at the moment. Marcus Clutton is setting quicker and quicker lap times up at the front. He's got a 2.1 second advantage and was a second quicker than anyone else in the first sector alone that time through. And Pavel Lefterov has managed to just steady the gap a little to the drivers behind. It was just a 1/10 of a second as they came across the line last time. He's managed to get it up to 9/10 of a second. So that's good stuff. Bielen, Knapp, Still and Kurti, the top 8. Then Van der Ende, who's up into 9th place, so he's almost back in this fight as well. Is that going to be the look? Not quite. Jelle Bielen trying to find his way past Zamparini. Incident between cars 1 and 15 will be decided after the race. So that was the Ricardo van der Ende incident. He came together with the he's come together with a KTM crossbow somewhere out there as well of Sasha Halleck. So we didn't see that one, but something happened there. .34.5 minutes to go. Clutton's lead now up to 4 seconds. But then it's 4 seconds Clutton's lead, and then 2.5 seconds later you've got second down to 6th. And you've got the pit stop window opening in 4 minutes as well. And interestingly, you've got the drop-off in pace from Terting. Peter Terting started at the back of the grid, rocketed up to 3rd place, was on the back of Pavel Lefterov, but has now just lost that momentum a little bit, seemingly. So one of the close battles there. Ricardo van der Ende is still trying to make a move, but not able to do anything about it. Huisman and Lefterov's contact will be decided after the race as well. Clutton's lead up to 6 seconds now, growing rapidly. Zamparini is the man on the charge at the moment as he tries to get past Terting. Middle sector purple again for Marcus Clutton. And he's romping away up at the front of this one. Is Zamparini going to be close enough this time around? He thinks about it, he goes for it up the inside. They're going to go side by side and Zamparini goes through. Great, forceful, decisive move from the Maserati, and he's up into 3rd place. And now Terting is going to get potentially shuffled down, and there's contact between he and the V8 car. Has that caused damage to Jelle Bielen? Luckily they both managed to stay on the circuit. Looks like they've both managed to carry on as well. But they've all been joined by Simon Knapp in that number 8 BMW. So Zamparini up to 3rd, Terting down to 4th, Knapp up to 5th, Bielan down to 6th. And they've been joined by Hendrik Still as well. Van der Ende still can't get past Carlo Curti in the other Maserati. Which is a new entry for this weekend, the Italian pair. And as a result, he's unable to join the back of this party. Contact between Terting and Bielan will be under investigation after the race. .31 minutes to go. Okay, Clutton's just going quicker and quicker up at the front. His advantage is phenomenal, considering in qualifying he was only half a second quicker than the others. This is the attack from Knapp coming down. This is the same place where Zamperini made the move on the previous tour. But he's not quite going to be close enough. Clutton's got a 7.2 second lead over Lefteroff in the Lotus. And then Zamperini's in 3rd place. And this is the battle for 4th spot. Sparks flying up from underneath the 11 car. Clutton now 9.1 seconds up the road. And they're all starting to queue up behind Peter Terting. Very strange ebbing and flowing of pace from Terting. Pit window is open now. So that's the opportunity for the drivers to come in and change over. And now Jelle Bielan's the man on the attack in all of this fight. As Knapp gets to the inside line, this is the opportunity for him to try and take 4th place away from Terting. As they come down the straight towards turn 11, he's going to have the inside line and should be able to hold on, and he does. So through goes Simon Knapp up into 4th position. Terting drops to 5th, and now Jelle Bielan will be the man to try and get past him. There's the chevron of Marcus Clutton leading the way, and he stays out for the time being before handing over to Jordan Witt. 2nd place Lefteroff stays out. And in fact, everyone has stayed out, haven't they, in the top runners? And if it stays like this in the pro class, then because of the problems for Duncan Houseman, it means that Jelle Bielan and Marcel Nuren would be crowned champions. So as it stands, Bielan and Nuren would win the championship. Into the pits then we've got the 71, and that'll be Hendrik Still handing over to Andreas Gulden, the 2 German racers. Car 8 has been given a warning for track limits. That is Simon Knapp. As you see, a minimum pit stop time, so there's no rush for these drivers, which is kind of added to by the classical music that's playing over the tannoy in the pit lane. Huisman at the moment the fastest man on the circuit. Race leader Clutton stays out again, but it was very close, wasn't it, between Jelle Bielan and Terting. There's the 16 car, which is a back marker, slowest car on the track at the moment. They stay out as well, so no one coming into the pits just yet. Oh no, Lefteroff has come in, I tell a lie. So Lefteroff has come into the pits, and Terting is having to go defensive into turn 1. We've also got the 33 Maserati in of Carlo Curti to hand over to Lino Curti. New entry this weekend, great to have them here. Duncan Huisman's made his pit stop as well, but actually that was for the puncture, wasn't it? So he hasn't made his mandatory pit stop yet. .26 minutes to go. Clutton's lead up to 13.5 seconds over Zamparini. But Zamparini there in that Maserati, still yet to come into the pits. Away goes Lefteroff. And they're just checking the tyre pressures, and then you've got to come away from the car, mate. And out again goes the Maserati. It's Carlo Curti now. Hands over to Lino. So across the line there goes Zamparini, and there's the look up the inside from Ricardo van der Ende. He's up into 7th place now. And who's he right up behind? So he gets all freaking. He's up behind Terting, isn't he? So he's up behind Terting, but Terting has Terting hasn't made his stop. So this is a good drive, this from van der Ende. He's really managed to close in and get with the front pack. Eli Bielan's just set his personal best in the first sector as he tries to close in on these guys. But this is the battle between van der Ende and Terting over what is fundamentally going to be 7th and 8th positions, I think. And van der Ende getting alongside, but it'll be the inside line for the hairpin, and he should be able to get that job done on the brakes. And through he goes. So van der Ende up past Peter Terting in that Ecris Motorsport BMW M4. First ever race for that car here. Eli Bielan's doing his personal best lap of the race so far, so I wouldn't be surprised to see him in. Race leader in, Marcus Clutton, to hand over to Jordan Witt. So we've got Clutton in. Jordan Witt taking over. So we've got Knappen as well, Terting, van der Ende, Zamparini. So all of these guys in the pits. As I said, it's a minimum pit stop time, so in theory we shouldn't have too much difference in order when they come out, because it's just a minimum pit stop time you have to hit. Clean of the windscreen for Zamparini. Well, the car that was in Zamparini's hands is now going to be handed over to the Canadian Barry Baxter. And Olivier Mutiens is going to take over in the Sofia Car Motorsport entry. The Belgian racer taking over from Peter Terting. This is Lefteroff, one of the only men who is running by himself in the race, so he will continue. As the Maserati team check the tyre pressures. Now, when Lefteroff pitted, he was in second position. As he comes out of the final corner, I'd expect him to resume that. Jordan Witt there is leaving the pits in the chevron. So he rejoins the track in the lead of the race. Second place, I'm expecting to see Lefteroff. There he is. And does he emerge in second? Yes. So that's second place for Lefteroff. Then are we going to see Baxter in third? Yes. So there's the Maserati of... no, that's the BMW, isn't it, of Simon Knapp, who's now handed over to Rob Severs. So we'll see if Severs has made up some places there. When it all shuffles through. There's the 69 V8 racing car of Marcel Nuren. Only properly get the order once they come over the start-finish line once again. But, so I think we've got... Oh, and there's a spin! Round goes the Barry Baxter, who's just come out of the pits. It's the Maserati who's had a spin. And it's Barry Baxter who's just taken over from Zamparini. I'm not sure they've spotted it. But now Baxter gets back going again, but he'd come out in sort of third or fourth position. And he'll be very frustrated with that, will the Canadian? Just losing it down at the hairpin. So it's Witt who leads. Lefteroff is second at the moment. So over to third place then has gone Server's car, the Equus Motorsport BMW, I think. So they've done well throughout all of this. That was the car that Simon Knapp was driving. Pit window is closed. And we've got 20 minutes of this race to go. And as they come across the line next time, we'll give you a full rundown of exactly what the situation is. Well, you can see it at the bottom there. Witt is in the lead in the chevron. In second place is going to be Lefteroff. There's our race leader on the screen. Second place is going to be Lefteroff, quite a way back from Jordan Witt, I think. Then it's Rob Severs in that Equus Motorsport car that Simon Knapp started, the number 8 car. Then it's Nuren in the fourth position, and as we say, if things stay like this, they will be the champions of the GT4 European Series this season. So there you go, there's the order at the moment. And up into fifth place has come the number 1 BMW that got punted out all those minutes ago. But now Bernhard van Orange has managed to get back up into fifth place, which is good. And then the spin for Baxter puts him down to 8th position. That'll be so frustrating for Barry. So this is across the line then. The chevron of Jordan Witt leading the race. And then wait for the second place car. There it is. Lefteroff in second. Third place across the line. So this is going to be the battle, really, isn't it? It's going to be Severs against Nuren in the battle for third and fourth. BMW against Chevrolet. So Nuren is going to be pushing hard. As he tries to close in on that BMW in front. All the pit stop times were okay, as is the message on from race control, so they're happy that no one was too fast in the pits. always good. And, oh, that's not good news. Into the pits has come Olivier Moutiens in the Sofia Motorsport car. And they were running really strongly in the early stages, so that would explain Peter Terting's loss of pace, if they have got a mechanical problem, because he was absolutely flying in the early stages. But problems for that car, the Sinar 1 GT4, which has been developed by the team owner, a Bulgarian racing car, going up against some of European and the USA's top marks. And at the moment, with Witt and Clutton leading the way and Lefteroff in second, they're both going to win their own classes. So the pro class victory for Clutton and Witt, and Lefteroff in second place will win his AM class if things stay like this. But we've still got 16 minutes to go. Look how just gently Marcel Nuren has been closing in on Severs in front of him. It's a good run from Severs at the moment, up in 8th position. They are a little bit out of championship contention. They are currently 4th in the championship, but they had a second place in the second race at the Red Bull Ring, and they've had a couple of podiums as well. Podiums both times out in Nürburgring last time, with a 3rd place finish. So a couple of visits to the podium, but another one in the final weekend of the season I think would go down a treat. But there's no doubt that Marcel Nuren wants to get past and pick up those points. Still no changes further back in the order. 11 seconds further back from this is the Eckrich Motorsport M4 of Bernhard van Orange. And in 6th place, we've got the 33 Maserati now in the hands of Lino Curti. Barry Baxter then in 7th. 8th is the 15 car of Peter Ebner now, who's taken over from Sasha Halleck in the KTM Crossbow. And then Luke Brahms is up to 9th place. And in 10th place is Lisette Brahms. .13 minutes left on the clock, and you can see that the BMW of Severs has just started to pull the gap up again. It was half a second last time they crossed the line. This time through, well, it's actually slightly less. So where can Marcel Nuren try and find the room to get through? There's the attack, and there's the job done. So was that a mistake from Rob Severs, perhaps? Because Nuren's managed to get through pretty easily in the end, coming through turns 4 and 5. So it looked to me as though that would have been a mistake from Rob Severs to allow Marcel Nuren through. as they come now, and there's the replay. And he just ran wide coming into turn 4, and that gave him the opportunity on the inside line. .11.5 minutes left, and now we'll see whether Severs can fight back. Oh, he can if Nuren keeps driving like that. Big moment for the Chevy. Fantastic to see these cars moving around so much. As they come through the final corner, and well, looks like now Nuren's got in some clear air. He's thinking he's going to put his foot down. He is 13 seconds back from Leftonov, who in fact is closing in on Jordan Witt. So that's going to be one to watch. Race leader Jordan Witt is being closed in and on by Pavel Lefterov. The gap is now 3 seconds. It was about 12 when the pit stops happened. That last lap he was a second quicker. So there's the race leader. There's the second place car of Pavel Lefterov. So that number 6 ASC Bolafto racing machine is beginning to haul in that gap. A great mix of cars in this GT4 series. We've got a Chevron leading from a Lotus with a V8 Camaro in 3rd position, which is holding off an M3. And then we've got a M4 behind it as well. And we've got the Maseratis up there in 6th position too. So, in fact, we've got 6 different makes of cars in the top 6 positions. Make that 7 in the top 7 because you've got a KTM crossbow, a KTX crossbow. No, KTM crossbow in 7th position too. So, oh, and there's a spin. And that is a really troubled time this is turning into for Olivier Mutiens. Tries to do a quick UE and get going again. But that car started so well, but must be running into some sort of problems. So you don't expect Olivier Mutiens to make mistakes like that. What's the gap for the lead like? 2.6 seconds, so it's only come down by half a second on that last lap, but we've still got 9.5 minutes to go. Jordan Witt leading, but here comes Pavel Lefterov. Lefterov, the Bulgarian. Trying to close in on British man Jordan Witt. Eight minutes 40 to go. It's not that long really for Lefterov to try and haul this in. He's only taken a 10th out of Witt in sector 1. Sector 2, it's 0.8 of a second in sector 2 alone. Meanwhile, Rob Severs hasn't let Marcel Nuren go. They're still nose to tail for the final podium spot. So we've got battles for 1st and for 3rd. Here towards the final corner comes Jordan Witt in the Chevron. Lefterov looking quick. The gap was 2.6 seconds last time they crossed the line. 1 lap later, it's 1.4. Lefterov flying. And now he can see Witt. That must give him a huge degree of confidence as well. There is Lefterov. Looks as though Witt's coming up to a little bit of traffic here that will hopefully get out of the way. Yes, it does. So that's good news. But look how much the gap has come down. As they come through And that is the Lefterov slowing, isn't it? The Evora, just as he was closing in on Jordan Witt, Pavel Lefterov has run into trouble, stuck it in the gravel trap, and that is the race over for Lefterov. How gutting must that be? He was closing in, he was only less than a second behind. And that means that Jordan Witt is now all by himself up at the front. And this means this is the battle for second position. Nuren against Severs. And that is such a shame. We've also lost the 71 car of Andreas Kuelden. And whoa, big slide for Marcel Nuren, who now he's up into second place. He is almost certainly going to win the championship. He and Jelle Bielen, even if they lose this second place, I think they'd still win the title. Which they might lose this second place here, because there's the look to the inside. Through comes Severs. And that was easy, wasn't it? That was gifted. I wonder if Nuren is just biding his time now. He knows he just needs to finish in a strong position. If he gets in a fight with the BMW, he could end up making a mistake. Perhaps that's the theory. And he'll happily just follow home for third position. They come through the right-hander now, and there you can see Pavel Lefterov's car being removed. A real shame for Lefterov. There's the Marcel Nuren, with Severs then up into second position. And Severs was quicker in the middle sector by about half a second as well than Nuren, so I think Nuren has very much backed off. Here, though, is Jordan Witt, who, if he holds on, it'll be the first win for the Chevron in the GT4 European Series. They've won races in the Britcar Series in the UK, as well as other British GT-based championships, never British GT itself. But GT Cup, that's the one. They've raced in GT Cup too. But it looks as though they're about to take their first GT4 European Series victory here with the Chevron. 17.2 seconds up the road from Severs. Then you got Nuren in third, fourth place. Good drive from the Curtis in the Maserati squad. Oh, and into the pits comes Bernhard van Orange from seventh place. Last lap was a reasonable pace, so I wonder if he's run into troubles in these clothing stages. That will promote Luke Brahms up into seventh spot. I think we're still going to see the title go the way of the 69 car of Jelle Bielen and Marcel Nuren. But here comes Witt towards the final corner, and he's going to start now the penultimate lap of the race. So 2 to go for Jordan Witt and the Chevron. Rob Severs still running in that second place. A good performance from the Equus Motorsport pair. Simon Knapp and Rob Severs looking like taking a second place. got Peter Ebner in the KTM Crossbow up into 5th position. Oh, that problem for Lefteroff also means that the AM class is now being led by the 46 Maserati of Barry Baxter. So Barry Baxter leading that class. Then you've got Lisette Brahms second in class. And at the moment, you've got Heinz Halleck, the father of Sasha Halleck, who's going to finish 3rd in that class if it stays like this. Fantastic sound from that Maserati, isn't it? And there is Barry Baxter, the man leading the AM class, as he hurtles down towards the hairpin here at Misano. Jordan Witt is onto his final lap of the race, with 33 seconds left on the clock. He's got a 16.4 second advantage over Rob Severs in 2nd position. Then it's Marcel Nuren in 3rd still. Still not letting him go. Can't quite decide if he did intentionally let him go through or not. But there's Jordan Witt. There's been no other intention for him than winning this race. Oh, and off there, and that might be Muchins again. Olivier Muchins in the 11 Sophia car. Yes, it is. Oh, that's a big place to lose it, actually, isn't it? That's coming into 13. But he has managed to rejoin. And now coming to that area is Jordan Witt. Just a few corners to go over the chevron. They qualified on pole position. And it's 50 minutes plus 1 lap, my apologies. So this is the penultimate lap of the race he's on now. I was about to give him the big sell, but he'll have to wait for a lap. It's 50 minutes plus 1. As he comes towards the final corner, now he'll see the last lap board. There it is. 1 Giro to go. Still, Severs holding on to that 2nd place there in the number 8 BMW. And sliding all the way around is Marcel Nuren, who knows if he just keeps it all together, he's going to be the champion of the GT4 series this year. And here's what happened a couple of moments ago. Oh, he's lost it there. So yeah, that's a... Well, he's gone across the grass on the inside and then skidded out to the outside. So that's a big moment there for Olivier Muchins. Did well to keep it out of the gravel. But now it's Jordan Witt on his final lap. Down towards the fast part of the circuit once more. Lino Curti still running in 4th position in the in that Maserati. So you've got Maserati's 4th and 6th, which I think they'll be pretty satisfied with. But here comes Jordan Witt. Only a couple of corners to go. He and Marcus Clutton qualified the car on pole position. Clutton lost the lead at the start. He got shuffled well down the order, but he managed to get back to the front, scampered away in the lead, and when Lefteroff retired, it was left for Jordan Witt to take victory, the first ever victory in the GT4 European Series for the Chevron team, and you can see them going ballistic on the pit wall. Their 2nd place across the line is Rob Severs, but in 3rd place is going to be Marcel Nuren and Jeli Bielen, and they take the checkered flag to finish in 3rd place and to win the GT4 European Series of 2015. Great drive from Nuren and Bielen. Got involved in some scrapes in the opening laps, but got away with it. And now into the final corner comes the Maserati of Lino Curti. Good result for them. And then here comes our AM winner out of the final corner. In the other Maserati, it's Barry Baxter who takes the checker flag there. Oh no, he's quite a way back actually. That's one of the back markers. So he'll be here in a minute. There he is now, coming towards the final corner, Barry Baxter. Slows it down into the left-hander, neat and tidy. And it's the AM class win for Barry Baxter and Maserati. We've already had the second place car across the line, the Las Moras BMW M3 of Lisette Brahms and Franz Verschoor. And third in the class, going the way of Heinz Halleck. A few more cars still to come across the line, including our regular spinner Olivier Muchins. And Luc Brahms as well in 7th place. And that completes our runners in the GT4 European Series. Another race coming up tomorrow, of course. But there is Jordan Witt and Marcus Clutton's Chevron coming back to the pits. And there is the Chevron.
Get in, my son.
And there's a very happy reaction. Out climbs Jordan Witt. He was going to be having some pressure before too long. But they managed to hold off the attention, and when left it off retired, it was a comfortable finish in the end. Delight there for the second place for Rob Severs and Simon Knapp, you can hear.
Well done, Matt. Brilliant.
Great to see the delight for them. And there's Marcel Nurens. Congratulations all around for him after finishing in 3rd place. As they he removes his helmet after a very busy race, and we believe that he is the champion of the GT4 European Series this season. But some problems by the sounds of it. So, but there are the second place men, Simon Knapp and Rob Severs. And they all seem very satisfied with a second place, as you might expect. A strong drive, and they had to work hard. There are the photos. For Jelle Bielen and Marcel Nuren. So here's a look at the results after 29 laps of racing in the GT4 European Series at Misano. Clutton and Witt win. The first win for Chevron in the GT4 European Series. Then we got Knapp and Severs in 2nd place. Bielen and Nuren 3rd, and wrapping up the championship title because Brahms and Huisman could only finish down in 7th place. Then we got the Curtis in 4th, Ebner and Halleck in the KTM Crossbow finishing in 5th position. Zamperini and Barry Baxter will be frustrated with 6th place because they were well in podium contention, but they still win the AM class. Then you've got Mutians and Terting down in 9th position. Heinz Halleck in 10th place. Pavel Lefterov will be very frustrated to have not wrapped up a potential victory, really. And then we lost Still and Grelden with 11 laps to go in their machine. In the 71 Sofia Motorsport car. So they will now make their way towards the podium. After a very entertaining 50-minute race, and we've got another one to come tomorrow as well, which is set to be, I'm sure, equally as exciting. So make sure you join us for that. It's after the Blancpain Endurance Series race tomorrow. I think we go on air at 3:20 local time for that action. The marshals now, and everyone's starting to pack away. That's the end of the on-track action here at Misano for them after what has been a reasonably quiet day in terms of action for the marshals, but it's not been a quiet day on the circuit at all. Absolutely non-stop entertainment. Here's a look at the highlights then of that race, and a very entertaining start really, and that really shuffled the pack when the lights went out. And this was the bold move from Huisman that maybe ended his championship chances. Tried to squeeze through the middle, and then there was a bit of contact there and he ran out wide, but later on he would end up picking up a puncture as he passed Lefterov in the early stages for the lead of the race. It was all looking so good. But then there was a spin in the middle of the pack, and that was for the M1 of Ricardo van der Ende. He did well to climb back up the order. Simon Knapp there in the number 8 BMW was making progress in the early stages. The positions were being changed left, right and centre. There was the contact with Houseman that ultimately gave him a puncture. It was a great drive from Peter Terting to go from the back of the grid all the way up towards the front. Lefterov came into the pits. And we had close battles all the way through as Terting now started to drop back down the order, we think because of mechanical problems ultimately. Marcus Clutton handed the lead of the race over. And Barry Baxter on his first lap out of the pits spun the car, but they still managed to come through to win the AM class. The battle was on for second place in the closing stages because Lefterov ultimately retired from the race in the Lotus Evora. And that was the mistake that initially allowed Marcel Nuren through to get past Rob Severs, but in the end they would swap back positions. There was the retirement of the Evora. There was the spin, this time for Olivier Mutiens in the number 11 Sofia Motorsport car. But there was the victory. First ever victory in the GT4 series for the Chevron team. And they are about to climb out onto the podium. So in just a couple of moments, they will be heading out onto the podium to receive their trophies in both Pro and Am. They do some interviews at the back there as well after an entertaining night race here in Misano, and the interviews for Dutch TV. And they're discussing the entertaining racing that was going on by the looks. You can tell from the driver's arm movements. So I think we're about ready to get the podium presentations underway. The penultimate race of the season after visiting the likes of Nogaro, Spa, Nürburgring. Finally, they're ending the season here on a beautiful autumnal weekend in Misano. Handshakes all around. Everybody delighted to be up on the podium in Misano. Superb victory for the 44 Chevron Cars machine of Marcus Clutton and Jordan Witt. And there are the assembled masses down underneath the podium, getting ready for the celebrations when they finally come. You can see the Blancpain cars have now been released from Parc Fermé. So I think we're now ready to get the podium presentations underway, hopefully. Oh, we've got another little false start there.
Ok, perfetto. Allora, al terzo posto accogliamo l'equipe del team Water Racing con la Chevrolet dall'Olanda, Jelly Bielen, Marcel Nuren.
Jelly Bielen and Marcel Nuren head out onto the podium. Third place for them in Pro. Second place for Simon Knapp and Rob Severs as they head on to the second step. But it's the top step for the first time in this series for the 44 Chevron Cars pair, Marcus Clutton and Jordan Witt. Handshakes all around and they go onto the top step. And now the British national anthem.
Applauso al podio, facciamo accomodare anche il team manager della scuderia, prego, take place on the podium.
So the British national anthem for the British pairing, Clutton and Witt on the top step. There are the trophies being awarded. And there's Marcel Nuren and Jelly Bielen with their third place finish, and second place going the way of Simon Knapp and Rob Severs. But there are the winners. Marcus Clutton and Jordan Witt pose on the top step of the podium. And so that is the Pro podium. And next up, I think we're going to have the AM podium, but not before the champagne. The top step for Chevron in the GT4 European Series here in Misano. And they'll be hoping to repeat that success in the final race tomorrow. As they make their way off the podium. And now we'll have the AM podium in a couple of moments' time. After what was a very entertaining race in AM. So there, out onto the podium goes Heinz Halleck for that third place finish. Second then for Las Moras Racing Team, Lisette Brahms and Franz Verschoor. Second in the AM class for them. Lisette Brahms, the wife of Luc Brahms. But on the top step, it's the Maserati pair. Patrick Zamperini and Barry James Baxter. The Italian and the Canadian onto the top step. Could have been a little bit of a higher position overall if things had worked out a little better. But nevertheless, they still took the victory. So the Italian national anthem for the Maserati team in Misano. There's the trophy for Heinz Halleck, the father of Sascha Halleck, who's a sometime Blancpain GT racer, races in this as well. Ended up finishing in front on the road, but is in the pro class with Peter Ebner. There's the second place trophies, but the winners in the AM class for Maserati, Patrick Zamperini and Barry Baxter on the top step of the podium. So that's the end of the racing action for the GT4 European Series today. Make sure you join us for the final race of the season tomorrow. We'll be getting underway at 3:20 local time here in Italy. So make sure you join us for that. If it's half as entertaining as the race today, we're going to be in for a treat. A fantastic way to start the end of the season. The overall victory for Chevron cars, Marcus Clutton and Jordan Witt taking the title. And in the AM class, victory for Maserati with Patrick Zamperini and Barry Baxter. 3:20 tomorrow, the final race of the GT4 European Series season from here in Misano. It'll be daytime, it'll be different, but I'm sure it'll still be entertaining. Make sure you join us for that tomorrow.